There's a lot to complain about with modern video games, but some companies such as Konami, they just finally got their act together. And honestly, right now, I think Konami might be on their way to be the best publisher and the best developer in the Japanese video game space in the very near future. And let's talk about why. So to preface all of this, a couple years ago, they finally brought back David Hayter. David Hayter left Konami after Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. They kind of fell apart. Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes was a terrible game. It had terrible voice acting as well. So did The Phantom Pain. Metal Gear Survive was terrible. Everything Konami has done after Peace Walker has been terrible. But then they brought David Hayter back, and David Hayter kind of been spearfronting the revival of Konami. And this began in 2023 with the launch of the Metal Gear Solid Collection, Volume 1. Now obviously I want a Volume 2, we'll get it one day, but for right now, this is all we got. And this is 100% the work of David Hayter, pushing them into the right direction. But you know, this is obviously their biggest IP of all time. Big whoop, of course they're going to bring it back at some point, but you know what nobody expected them to bring back? Suikoden 1 and 2, as well as the Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days collection. These are two games that nobody expected Konami to ever bring back. They did not only bring back Suikoden 1 and 2, they immediately remastered it for the Switch 2 upon release, literally weeks later. And not only did they do that, but they announced a brand new Suikoden game, which is coming out as a gacha game. We don't know when, it's either going to be later this year or early next year. But not just is that a gacha game, it is effectively Suikoden 6. It is combining all the games, and basically it's going to finish the story. We see Konami caring about their past in a way that no game company alive right now does outside of Capcom, because obviously they're remaking Resident Evil left and right. You don't see PlayStation returning to Jak and Daxter or Sly Cooper. Ratchet and Clank A Rift Apart came out. It sold really quote-unquote bad in Jim Ryan's eyes, and now nothing. We have heard nothing about that ever since then, and normally at this point in time we're about to get the next Ratchet & Clank. It's usually on a 4 to 5 year cycle. We're 4 years in, about to be 5. Where is it? And then they gave us a beautiful remake of Silent Hill 2, which is effectively the perfect remake. I have never played a game that was remade more beautifully and more true to the source material than this. And then fast forward to just the other day, we got Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta Snake Eater, which is one of the most faithful remakes. It's not as faithful and good as Silent Hill 2 for obvious reasons, but it is so good, and the things they change, so good. And now here we are, Konami is experiencing their Renaissance era. For whatever reason, right now in gaming, it feels like they're the only ones that are doing it right, at least as it comes from legacy publishers. Obviously, we got a lot of the new studios and a lot of the studios, I guess, publishers that didn't really come into form until more recently, like From Software, that are doing phenomenal. But it seems like right after the end of the PlayStation 3 or towards the end, that all these legacy publishers, they just kind of fell apart, and Konami was one of them. It's very weird to live in a world where you see Konami's gonna be at an event and you get excited. For the longest time, it was just gonna be gacha games or some other nonsense. But now, when we see that Konami logo before an announcement, it's like, yes, we're gonna get something great. And you know what? The games I announced is not even the only things they're bringing back. They're bringing back so many stuff and have launched so many games, published so many games, and funded so many games that I can't even list them all here. These are just the big ones I wanted to talk about. But while I was playing Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater the other day, I finished that game like 5 times since it came out already, which is not really all that much because I have famously finished the original over 100 times. It just feels like Konami, like, they get it now. Like, we're probably gonna get a Metal Gear Solid 1 or 2 remake next, or maybe I would prefer Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear 2 and then go into Metal Gear Solid 1 and just remake the whole saga. But it feels like they finally understand what we want. It feels like Konami has finally listened. They finally got some translator to start translating Reddit posts, Twitter posts, YouTube videos. It feels like Konami is hitting their stride. I genuinely feel like that the Konami of 2025 is better than the Konami of 2015 and 2005. I'm not going to say it's better than the Konami of 1995 because that would be a lie. But even outside of gaming, they're doing things that they haven't done in forever. Yu-Gi-Oh! The card game is incredible right now. I don't know if you've gone back to it or if you're never was into Yu-Gi-Oh! But for a long while, the card game was just terrible. The cards, the art that would come out, not that great. But now everything for it is beautiful. And if you are into the pachinko games that have came out from Konami recently have been really fun and really enjoyable. But up until literally 2021, 2022, they've all kind of felt copy and paste. Like if you played the Metal Gear Solid pachinko game or ever seen anybody play it, very wonky. It's like, did they even try other than just remaking the scenes? And you know, very well after Silent Hill F comes out here in the next week or two, Konami could just fade away into obscurity again, and we could maybe never see them again. But if Konami continues the path that they are on right now, I genuinely feel like that Konami is back stronger than ever, and that Konami is going to go on to become one of the greatest video game publishers and creators of all time once again. They are going to remind everybody just who Konami is and what they are. Now, of course, there's going to be some growing pains, like the obvious elephant in the room with Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. Incredible game, but it did have one major flaw, and that was the controls of the game. So obviously sometimes they're going to get it right, sometimes they're going to get it wrong. But so long as they're trying and they're trying to return to form, honestly, this is insane right now. Konami is back, and this YouTube channel right here, it was built on the backs of stuff like horror games, specifically Resident Evil, but I did talk a lot about Silent Hill as well back in the day. And one game I talked about so much for nonsensical reasons because it was way many years after it came out was Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake on the 3DS. And honestly, when this came out, this was considered one of the greatest, most faithful remakes of all time. They even kept the graphics incredible. If you didn't know, it's more or less just the PlayStation 2 game, but with better graphics and a little bit better controls. But it's still such an incredible remake, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you. If you are not looking at the PlayStation 2 originals and you're looking at the HD remasters, the Pachinko, obviously, the 3DS version, and now the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, the new one has surpassed all of these other ones. And the last 2 years, Konami has given me 6 games that I have cried for, that I have screamed about, that I have wanted to return for years and years. And between these 6 games, as of right now, I am genuinely about to pass 700 hours total into all of these 6 games. I mean, yes, multiple of these are just, you know, collections of classic games like right here, and of course Metal Gear Solid collection right here. But the fact that this is a thing that I can actually say is something I never thought I would say about Konami again. I genuinely thought for the longest time that the last good game Konami was ever going to make was eFootball Pro Evolution Soccer 2020. And that would have been a very depressing world to live in. So as long as Konami stays like this, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I am a massive fan of the direction they're going in, and I really think Konami's back. And yes, I understand this video has been kind of rambly, but I need to get this off my chest because it's a thought that keeps roaming around in my brain, and it's just, hey, Konami's back, I'm happy, you should be happy. But let me know in the comments down below, are you happy with the progress Konami has made to return to form? Or do you think they're doing too much? Let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, try not to die, and I'll see you in the next video.